Jen Stoltenberg said, "By voting, we add our voices to the chorus that forms opinions and the basis for actions." So I know that today is a big deal for our American neighbors, and I just want to say, whatever the outcome, I wish you well. Hi, my name is Jonathan, and I don't own a Tesla, but I do own Tesla stock. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I do want to help you learn about this innovative company called Tesla. So what we'll do is jump into the daily tweets of the Tesla community and see what the smart people over there are saying. Let's jump in. Okay, so our first tweet comes from Vincent. He says, "People try to trade through this election will be regretted." Now I know that today is that big day again, and of course, with the election always comes volatility and ups and downs throughout the process. Just remember why you invested into Tesla to begin with, and remember that you're not investing in a stock number, but into a company. Our next tweet comes from Alex. He says, "BMW CEO says that we react very flexibly. If one day the whole world buys only electric vehicles, we will only make electric cars, but we cannot assume that this will be 2030. Alex also follows up that tweet by saying BMW plans to deliver by 2030 cumulated 7 million BEVs. In 2030, Tesla is planning twice that number annually. That will make BMW in size a small fraction of Tesla. I'm not particularly surprised by some of these things that these CEOs are saying these days. First with Daimler and now with BMW. A lot of these old legacy automakers really just don't get it. They seem to live in the past and are worrying about profits over innovation. Ultimately, by the time innovation has come and taken over, they're going to be way behind and they won't be able to catch up, and just like they aren't catching up now. In the future, the innovation stack required to actually make these changes to go full EVs will be out of their reach and they won't have the capacity to do so. It's weird, and you have to almost wonder how some of these CEOs are running their companies. They seem so reactive, non-proactive, and they seem to not be reading reports on what's happening in the EV landscape. Our next tweet comes from Gary. He says, "As Kristen says, trust the Tesla process. This is good marketing. Unveiling minor changes will stoke interest and put Cybertruck back into the front of the EV discussion after lots of EV truck noise. Hopefully we'll have Tesla's full $7,500 federal tax credit to look forward to." So Gary is referencing a tweet from Elon Musk who says, "New design is better with many minor tweaks. Even the small details matter." And it's great that Elon isn't rushing to produce this vehicle, because ultimately there are size issues, there might be mirror issues, things like that that you have to consider for the average market. And so Gary's saying, hey, just trust the process. And it's kind of fun for us too as retail investors, because as new things come out, we can track it. It's fun to see what new bells and whistles this new Cybertruck will have. And the next tweet comes from Tesla owner Silicon Valley again today. They posted another video of the FSD Beta now navigating a busy left-hand turn. So what's really cool about today's video is it goes back to what I said yesterday about negotiation. This car has to negotiate between how much space is there for my car to turn left, what's the traffic like on both sides, as well as are there pedestrians, are there bikes. It's just cool to see in a busy intersection that this still does really well. Our next tweet comes from Ray. He is referencing to an article in the Tasmanian blog. He says that the Tesla full self-driving beta will roll out next in Canada and Norway. At Stats Tesla then also says, "You gotta love Norway." The speech on autonomy by Norwegian Minister of Transport in 2017 says, "Norway will have one of the most proactive laws in this area globally." So Norway is definitely leading the charge in terms of being a good country to work with for Tesla, and they're certainly proactive in developing an environment that is friendly for a company like Tesla. I know in Canada there are a few laws that help us adopt environmentally friendly things such as environmental rebates and things like that as well. Hopefully what we'll get to see in the next little while is the FSD Beta in different circumstances and different climates. So this next tweet is pretty cool. It's from John. He says, "On this day in 2008, Tesla secures $40 million loan to avoid bankruptcy. Today it is the most valuable automaker in the world." Elon Musk actually replies this tweet and says, "That funding round completed 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve in 2008. Last hour of last possible day, as investors were leaving town that night and we were 3 days away from bankruptcy. I put in all the money I had. I didn't own a house and had to borrow money from friends to pay rent. Difficult time." So it's cool to see that Elon Musk isn't worried about putting his money where his mouth is. He clearly did it back in 2008 and he continues to do so now. You can't write a story better than that. And Elon further goes and says that for the Model 3 and trying to get it to mass production, he says, "Closest we got was about a month. The Model 3 ramp was extremely stressed and painful for a long time, from mid-2017 to mid-2019. Production and logistics hell. That's how close they were to actually going bankrupt again. So Tesla has come a few times close to bankruptcy, but that's because they're willing to go the extra mile for innovation and take the big risks that no one else is taking. And a great way to finish off today would be to read this tweet from Hyperchange. They say, Tesla is breaking all norms for growth in auto companies. Insane revenue growth and massively improving profitability and ROA. So I just want to finish off with this final chart here. It's talking about unlevered free cash flow. So that's a huge turnaround from where they were at before, close to bankruptcy, all the way to now with immense free cash flow. They have approximately $1.9 billion in free cash flow. That's really significant. Why? Essentially, FCF is a really good metric to see how a company is doing health-wise. It shows the cash that this company can still use after paying off all the assets and expenses and things like that. So maybe it's property, maybe it's equipment, maybe it's R&D. All these capital expenditures cost something. And having free cash flow outside of that means that the company can then spend money in places that they really want. As we can see time and time again, Elon's track record as a capital allocator is unmatched. He may have gotten close to bankruptcy a couple times, but ultimately he knows what the mission is. He knows where the money should go, and these days he's executing better than he ever has before. So that's it for today's wrap up. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. And if there are any other questions or comments you want to leave below, please do so and I'll get back to you when I can. See you tomorrow and bye.